wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working.
What's up, everybody? How are you doing, my friends, my fellow members, and my fellow Patreon people? Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. As always, guys, we're looking to see if potentially DCA is the way. I'm also doing a different setup right now as well, so let me know what y'all think about this setup actually as we kind of progress and keep on going along. I'm going to see how we do with the chat just showing up along the way, and again, just kind of having some fun discussing some different ideas, strategies, and what's really going on maybe within the ecosystem most recently. So I hope y'all are all having a wonderful day. I got Godfather J6 in the house. Let me see if I can increase this up a smidge. Give me 1 second. And see how we can adjust some stuff here. Again, 1 second, y'all. Make sure that's all good. All right, cool. Oh, I did get that cut off just a little bit. Thinking of getting some loan to stake it. There you go. Definitely some people are doing that for sure. All right, we're going to give this a shot real fast. But guys, I wanted to get a little heads up on what was going on in the ecosystem recently. On September 15th, I actually started a challenge called the PulseChallenge. The idea behind it was that we would invest $5 a day into certain cryptos and then continue to track that journey along the way as well. So that's actually what we did. We actually went ahead and have been continuing to purchase every single day $5 into 4 cryptocurrencies at least that are Hex on Ethereum, Pulse Chain, and PulseX. Now again, I just wanted to say those are the main ones that we have been purchasing with this DCA strategy, and I hope y'all can join along the strategy with me as well. The PulseChallenge, again, if y'all are on the ride and y'all are doing this as well, put down there in the comments hashtag PulseChallenge. Let me know that y'all are in there as well. So definitely much love to every single one of y'all at this point in time. The stream's current bitrate is lower than recommended. Okay. 1 second. Let me see if we can get this going real fast. Is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend these. I'm going to see if I can get the setup going for the bitrate here as well. So I just got a little notice on that. So let me see if we can pull that up. Maximum, cool. And how much do we need it to be? 51,000. All right, 51,000. So we're going to go. All right, we're going to see if we can get that going there. Again, we're trying a different setup right now, so let me know what y'all think about the chat just kind of going along, if y'all like it showing up on the screen or what's going on as well with everything that we actually have going on. Now, we actually, again, have been doing a Pulse Challenge, which we've been buying the 5 certain assets, which are Pulse Chain, PulseX, Hex on Ethereum, and Hex on Pulse Chain. Now, again, during that time, what's really interesting about it all is we've actually had a pretty good job of actually keeping track of everything going on in the ecosystem. So we've actually done a pretty good job where we've actually now had the ability to we've had the ability to accumulate at this point in time close to 50,000 Hex on Pulse Chain. We've managed to accumulate close to 10 million Pulse. We've got 33 million accumulated for PulseX, and we're over 100,000 Hex on Ethereum. Now, folks, this is just investing $5 a day into these assets. It's not the craziest thing ever at this point in time. There are definitely many other things that are out there that I find to be a little bit easier as well, but we're going to go through here and take a little gander at it all so we can see what that might actually entail and look like. Let me move that up here. Perfect. All right, so again, let me do a little setup here, switch it up just a smidge. All right, cool. So I'll just zoom in on here as well. So what we actually got going on overall is we actually have again, during this time, I've managed to buy $5 every single day ever since September 15th. And what's really interesting is we can go through here and actually track all the transactions as they happened. So you can see whenever I first started, the price of Hex on Pulse Chain was 20855. The price on PulseX was sitting at 40424. Again, you can just kind of keep on going along this way. PulseX was 40105, and even Hex on Ethereum was 2037. So you can see where my initial entry price was, and ever since then, I actually continued to buy $5 a day into these assets and then log it at what my purchase price was, how many tokens I was able to accumulate, so that way I can find my average overall as well. And so with this, you can actually see that my average currently at this point in time for Hex on Pulse Chain is currently sitting at right under a penny. It's sitting at 20963. We actually have we have Pulse Chain sitting at 40525, and then we currently have PulseX sitting at 40144, and Hex on Ethereum sitting at 20477. Now, again, this is just kind of one of those things that have been happening during this time. And what's interesting about this as well is we can go to goldpulse.com and we can see what the current price is on these as well. What's going on, Alan? What's going on, the pothead? How y'all doing? So we can actually see over here on gopulse.com that we actually have the current price of Pulse Chain sitting at 4 zeros and a 6. The current price of PulseX sitting at 4 zeros and a 1. 40169. The current price of incentive token, we are not doing this daily purchase, as again, this is the token that you earn by doing things such as farming and yield and that kind of stuff as well. And then we have the current price of Hex on Pulse Chain above a penny, whereas the price on Hex on Ethereum is sitting at 2053. So what's really interesting about all that as well, okay, cool. So the chat does go over just a smidge. Let me shorten this down. Whoop. Okay, that's not the right chat window, so I guess I can just get rid of this one. Make sure. Remove. Yep, and we're gonna go. Oh, I like the size. We're just gonna shorten you down. All right, cool. That way the chat will just keep on going along, and we can just keep it going too. So we actually have, again, all the prices currently sitting at what we are currently at. Now, again, you can see where I'm sitting at on all of my actual investment purchases as well. So during this time, I have been able to accumulate quite a bit of these tokens by simply just purchasing each token every single day, investing just $5 a day, folks, into each one. So overall, at this point in time, we have only managed to accumulate close to $480 into each of the tokens at this point in time since September 15th. We are currently sitting on all of these averages as well for the purchase prices. And guys, I want y'all to join me along this challenge, because this is kind of that same purpose that I remember when Hex was at 50 cents and we were seeing people still purchasing 100,000, for example, in that situation. Folks, that cost $50,000 to buy 100,000 tokens back then at this price. And simply by just doing $5 a day into a DCA strategy that is a continuing strategy that's proven to have worked so many times in the previous and continuing to work into the future. Consistency. But guys, this is 100,000 Hex for less than $500. And remember, my friends, that when Hex hits 50 cents, this 100,000 Hex is $50,000. Neither here nor there, because this is the amount of tokens times what the price is at that time. Now, what's really interesting about this is that's just at 50 cents. What happens when we end up hitting $2, y'all? That's $200,000 you're sitting at right now that you could have been sitting on and accumulating during this time while we're just in the little capitulation zone, just kind of going sideways, back and forth. So, folks, I wanted to share this because I think it's important for y'all to see, for y'all to know. The DCA is working well as well. Urban Production, ATX, how you doing, my friend? Addie P says, good evening, ATX, and all you fabulous, beautiful people. You are all... You are all looking amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Much love to every single one of y'all as well. But guys, we got a lot going on in the ecosystem. I don't want y'all to start getting a little bit down or depressed or sad or anything going on, because we are still only 6 months into this journey, my friends, my family, and my fellow Patreon members. Folks, we're 222 days into PulseChain being live. 222 days. Okay? Of PulseChain being live. That is absolutely incredible, but what's even more incredible is this is just the beginning. If you join me along this Pulse Challenge, and I would like to see y'all on there as well, I would love for y'all to join the challenge and again, be a part of this, just to relax from the day to day. Instead of looking at the chart of what's going on, is a green candle, is a red candle, instead of allowing that to affect you and affect your mood and affect your vibrations and everything about what's going on in your life, to just simply set up a simple DCA strategy. And folks, my plan is to do this for at least 12 months. So I'm going until September of 2024. And if prices still look juicy at that time enough to continue to DCA before the bull run finally takes off, then so be it. We continue, because the goal should be DCA for 12 to 18 months after PulseChain is live. That's the goal. That's your focus. The money's there for some people to escape, but again, the money's on the lowest side that it's going to be in this cycle. So some people are seeing a 2x, 5x on some coins. Cool. That's the lowest that you're going to see whenever you see a bull cycle come. Folks, bull cycles are absolutely phenomenal, and I mean, they smash. They absolutely smash what is going on. They smash expectations. They go through and just fly by, and when it comes, the green candles start flying and pumping as well. We're seeing the Fed start to lower their interest rates right now, or not lower, my apology, pause. They put a pause on the rates again. They had talked about doing 2 cuts in either 2024, possibly 3 cuts for rate cuts during 2024. And anytime that you start seeing them reduce the quantitative easing, if you will, start to allowing the constricting, or start to loosen the constriction that they've put on the entire economy, when they start doing that, money starts flowing again. And guys, people are holding on to money right now because they aren't really quite sure of what's going on. 100%. Addy P says, we are like bamboo. Those DCAing whilst below SAC rate are spreading those roots along wide. Once we break through the SAC rate, we will grow so fast. And again, I really don't, I'm right there with you, Addy P. I really am. Whenever I look at the chart and whenever I see this information for PulseChain, for example, again, we are now sitting currently, if I actually count the days, and I've looked at this in the past as well. Let me actually just pull up the screen once again so I can share it with y'all. But this is what PulseChain looks like right here. Again, this is just Pulse versus PulseX in this situation. But the idea behind it is you can see how many green candles that we actually ended up getting right about here. And that was a good little 2x pump that we actually ended up seeing as well in the ecosystem. That was only about 10 days though for that little pump. Now we actually have just now passed the 8-day mark of green candles. 8 days in a row of green candles, guys. And that is very bullish, especially because if you actually just look at the overall chart pattern of what's going on, this is a beautiful little trend line that we're kind of forming right on down here at this point in time. As long as we really maintain above the trend line, ideally you would continue to keep on going. And yes, could there be pullback? Sure, it's possible. Could there be pullback? Yeah, you could see some pullback right here and possibly bounce off the trend line again. This is what is very common to happen in most TA items whenever you start looking at charts. So I'm seeing that we are holding a nice little bullish pattern from what I'm seeing. Once again, we do need to break some local highs in terms of what we've seen recently, but we are making lower highs. We are making hopefully lower lows, and we just keep that going. In terms of what it looks like bullish wise, it does a very bullish pattern. You've seen it happen here. We can retest, and then guys, like Addy P says, once we're back up in this little SAC range, there's definitely going to be resistance here. Like, let's be real, every single one of y'all should expect some resistance at that level, just because people have only talked about SAC price for so freaking long now at this point in time, that when it reaches this level of 3 zeros and a 1, people are going to be super elated, and that could potentially happen by the end of this month, if not entering early January 2024. And that's when things start really shaping up as well for what you can actually see. If we look at the PulseX chart right now, it's in a similar situation in terms of what it's got going on. So we can actually pull this up once again, see the nice little trend line forming right on over here, which once again, I'm a big fan of. We can actually pull up an indicator called the VPVR, Volume Profile Visible Range. And this is just going to kind of give you a good idea of what we're looking at overall, where most of the action happened when you actually look at this chart. So ideally, we've seen so much price action happen pretty much right here in this zone. And I'm just going to kind of zoom in so I can see the VPVR a little bit easier, kind of hide this as well. And cool. I'm just doing this on the GoPulse website, so limited space, I guess. But right here, we've seen plenty of people have some volume, but guys, above this right here, based on the fact that there's not that much history over here, when you start breaking above these volumes over here where people haven't really traded too much, it is possible to actually get a good push up. We've seen pushes like this happen already in the past, and once again, you can just look over here of what we actually ended up doing during that time. This is within the span of essentially 28 days or so. From all the time over here, once again, yeah, roughly right around 28 days for what is essentially a 2.5x. What if we did the same 28 days right now and did the 2.5x once again, right? So we're right in this little zone, right in this range. Whoops, let me zoom on out just a smidge. There you go. We're got in this little zone, this little range. 28 days later, where does that put us? Early January. Once again, you know, looking at 4 zeros and a 3, I could definitely see that being a possibility as long as we don't get some sort of stupid bearish news that come along with people getting scared with FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, not having any clue of what's really going on. People just hear some news and then they make the action or make a decision, and I find that to truly be one of the worst ways to go about doing things. By the way, I highly advise, do not recommend or do not do that. That's just not necessarily the play I would do. I was just looking at Ink to see how it's performing against Pulse. At this point in time, it's not any sort of good news there. Ink is still out underperforming everything, so that's just a little chart. 50 cents on the incentive token. Again, this is a token that people are selling as a as one of the sell pressures, right? So instead of them selling their Pulse, their PulseX, their Hex, or any other tokens that they may be holding, they are using these sort of tokens, the incentive token, to actually allow them to sell, so that way they don't have to sell their main bag. Because I would hate to sell your main bag down here, guys. Like, to sell your main bag on any of these prices down here, to sell your bag at these levels when you've already waited during this time for something to happen and you decided this is when you wanted to sell, like, brutal, man. I feel so terrible for those individuals, but that is a brutal thing. We are going to have a lot of resistance here at this level once we end up getting there, which is the previous SEC price along the days of the along the time of PulseX right there. So, and looking at Hex, this is Hex on Pulse Chain, and just looking at the chart as well, looking a nice little bullish pattern, beautiful capitulation zone where it's just kind of going sideways, folks. The market tends to go sideways. If you look all the way from back here, I mean, we're at the same price that it was even 140 days ago, but hopefully you were able to continue to DCA during this time. This is right around the time where we started the Pulse Challenge, and we have continued to DCA during this time. When the prices went all the way up here, we continued to buy, folks. Every single time we continue to DCA, because why? I am trying to build the biggest bag possible, and I'm also trying to document this with everyone so that way y'all can see it doesn't have to take this god whale entity for you to make it in crypto. I'm showing by doing just simply $5 a day into these assets what could potentially be possible. So I'm actually really wanting to see where we're going to end up going with this as well, you know? And oh, okay, cool. I can just do that and then gotcha. So I can actually keep this going up. Okay, cool, guys. Again, I'm doing a different setup right now, obviously, if you can't tell. So I'm just trying to check some things out. There we go. All right, cool. I can actually open that up all the way, and if I have the screen share going, it covers it. Perfect. All right. So open this up just a smidge. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Okay, cool. Oh, well, now I covered my face up. Interesting. All right. Well, let me fix that. There we go. Oh, what's going on, Cookie de Chocolate? How you doing? Let me say hello to some beautiful people. We got Hex. There we go. There we go. Hex Huddle. What's going on, my friend? Urban Production in the house. Addy P in the house. Pothead. Hextronomer in the house. Cookie de Chocolate. Bargain Betting says, hey, caught you live for once. What's up? On the 10th like, Hex Flex, you sure are. Yeah, hit the like, everybody. Appreciate that. What's up, Tin Top? How you doing, my friends? How is everybody going? How are y'all doing today, man? What's the feel? What's the gauge? What's the emotion? I wanna kind of get everyone's vibe on what's going on with just kind of the prices recently or just anything really happening. So yeah, let me just kind of get a little idea of what's going on. All right, cool. And overall, what else can we share? Oh, I did just release my investment portfolio tracker. This is something that I am super freaking proud of as well. And folks, this thing does just an overall absolute banger of a job to track all of your investments. So if you're wanting to track not only your crypto, but also maybe your stocks, your ETFs, your dividends, anything like that, well, this portfolio tracker is going to allow you to do that. So what you can see on here is just everything in here where you can actually adjust these over on the right. So if I wanted to adjust my watch list over here for certain Google Finance tickers, I can actually do that by adjusting that section in here. So if I wanted to, say, for example, keep my eye on Amazon at this point in time, I would just put Amazon right there. It will go ahead and adjust that as well. So that way it updates all the information, gives me a good indicator of what's going on with the overall ecosystem. And this is based on 52-week high over a 52-week low and what the percentage is on that return over or under, if it's a buy, sell, or hold signal at this point in time. It does give you an idea of your worst performer, your overall best performer. You can actually end up keeping a full portfolio track as well. And again, folks, this is live and available right now to anyone who is in the Patreon by joining patreon.com/ATXCrypto. But you can actually go through here and check all of your portfolio and see your portfolio history, go through and just see different items. And folks, this is just the dashboard, okay? There's so many things that break down this whole system right now that allow me to not only continue to do different things, but now we can do the total portfolio and break it down by certain assets or the overall item. I can see my platform different. So if I wanted to break it down by what I actually have separated, I can do that. So if I wanted to only see stocks, for example, that I was holding on Robinhood or maybe another exchange that you're holding your stocks on, it can actually pull that up and it will automatically update all of the information in here for you as well. Not only that, it can actually do a portfolio rebalancing. So I hear a lot of people not have really a good idea of how much they should be holding with their portfolio. And, you know, what this does is it kind of gives you a good gauge of if you're over or underweight certain assets, so you can actually sort how much you want to be a part of in different things. So if I wanted 20% in Hex, 20% in Pulse, 20% in PulseX, this is what it would look like. And it's telling me that I'm currently underweight. The Pulse would be my way to end up going at this point in time, and it gives me an idea of how much to reach. Now, again, all the Patreon people have already been able to experience this, but this is available to anyone who is in Patreon. If this is something that y'all want just a portion of, because maybe you don't necessarily want the entire spreadsheet, I am going to be doing different items that are allowing certain items to do this, like the portfolio rebalancing, that you can actually type this in. Maybe it'll cost a few dollars, who knows, and it can actually help you out with all of this as well. Not only that, it actually has a split tool. What's really cool about this is it goes based on all of your information and your transactions. And if there's currently something in there and there's a stock split, you can actually come in here for all the transactions you have entered and just simply put the stock split that was done, put the ticker that you had the stock split on, and then simply click on this button. There's a button right here. It's just zoomed in too far right now, but there's a button you can click and it will do a stock split for you. So yeah, guys, this is actually pretty interesting down here. Lot of good information that I actually got going on. Again, I have a full little video if anyone wants to watch it. It is on the previous one. Just type in investment portfolio tracker and you can definitely find that as well. I've absolutely so much love to every single one of y'all who get a chance to see this, use it, and actually participate with it. Audio low, interesting. Audio, just first time hearing audio low, Tin Top. Damn, sorry about that. Let me see if my mic is good. Okay, cool. Hold on. I see. Properties, advanced, and let's turn it up. Audio output. And we're going to turn it up just a smidge. Let me know, I guess, how this is sounding here as well. Audio, mic. All right, cool. So I'm turning up the audio right now, so you should be able to hear it a little bit better here in just a second. And yeah, let me just check it out for myself real quick. Let me know how it sounds now with the audio turned up just a smidge. If the audio is sounding better, I'm now listening to the individuals. I had Brissology come on one time trying to give me the good word and like, dude, your audio's off. Oh man, long story short, he was right. And I'm now listening. Whenever I hear someone say audio is low, audio is off. And holy cow, absolutely so much love. Let me see what we got going on as well. So, Tentop, thank you for letting me know that. Again, I can turn it up just a smidge more should we need it. I can always turn it up as well. So, my hex is bigger for sure. Yeah, hit the like, y'all, for sure. Much love to every single one of y'all. I'm just chilling, my friend. Of course, Addy P, me too. Enjoying my T-shares, working for me, and not listening or getting distracted by all the noise. Looking long term. That is 100% the case, y'all. There's going to be plenty of noise and things that come along the way. Now, we've already had several things. Y'all can look back at the Pulse Chain launch, for example. The bridge had an issue when it first went on. V1 versus V2. You had we aren't earning LP fees. You have these items, and for some people, that was enough to wash them. For other people, they're like, nah, that's not enough. Because everyone has a different line of risk profile that they're willing to take on. And so that's what's tough when you listen to other individuals who are out there who may not be as risk averse as you, or the opposite, may be way more risk averse than you. When you start hearing some of these individuals, like people who do meme coins, are way more risk averse than I would ever personally see. But everyone's got that level that they're willing to be like, that's the one, you know. So I guess it is what it is, right? We're gonna just kind of take it for what it is at this point in time. But yeah, 100% look long term, y'all. Look long term. So we got hi ETX Crypto and friends, unlimited love to all. So much love to you as well. Loving that, my friend, for sure. Always great day, everyone. Chris Crypto, how are you? We'll look into that. Good bit of a kit. Oh, appreciate that. Okay, all sounds fine here. Perfect. Yeah, I almost think that the V1 buying and burning all the fees for PulseX was purposeful rather. Yeah, dude, that's dude, can we talk about that for like a split second? You know what I mean? Like, there's so much conspiracy theories that have happened that go on in our ecosystem, and that is definitely one of them there for sure. That we had 2 years damn near of people testing out on the test net. And yeah, they claim that some people let them know and all this stuff, but either way, it didn't get addressed or handled. So when V1 was launched, all the fees just went straight to the buy and burn. Dude, which I absolutely love, man. Again, like, yeah, it's cool to make some money, you know, but when you burn the supply, you're going to be making so much more money later on with the deflationary asset. So just keep that in mind. You know, don't think short term for sure. But yeah, that's definitely a conspiracy theory that has picked a lot of people, or a lot of people also believe in as well, which is, you know, funny, comical. So what else we got? Let me go here. Whoops. Advanced. I'm gonna turn it up just a smidge more for myself. All right, cool. There we go. What else we got? Hex Huddle, yes sir. Steak Hex says, yes, I'm on desktop, my friend. There you go, cool. Oh, so you can do the @ yeah, for sure. Appreciate that. Yeah. Max Hart Sherwin says ATX has the bomb portfolio tracker. Thank you so much to all the Patreon supporters as well, folks. I believe this ecosystem will do crazy X's, especially how hard we have dumped. Remember, RH always said crypto is reflexive. Yeah, and that's another thing that's important for people to understand. Like, Hex went up 10,000x, so, you know, obviously whenever it came back down, it did a massive little drop. But when you actually look at it, if Hex only ended up hitting, we'll say, you know, 10 cents, and that was the top at the time, and it's at a penny right now, then you're down 90. But because it went up 10,000x, it went up damn near 5x more than that even as well, and you can kind of go through and just kind of math it and adjust it, yeah, it's going to be some crazy little drawbacks. But and then we had Pulse Chain launch, so you have to understand there's so many things that went into this particular moment and ecosystem and time that we're in right now, that when you look back, you know, 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to be like, holy cow, what happened during that time that caused the prices to do that? It's the same thing that when you go back and look at even just any chart right now, but just a chart in the past, and you see, damn, it was much lower back then. What was going on back then, right? It's the same exact thing. And if you stick it out long enough and it's a true crypto that has good product market fit and is here for the long haul, then you go into the future with it. You know what I mean? Like, so don't look at what's going to stop today, because right now Hex is still paying every single day. Again, I've done the math on this before, but folks, it's you get roughly, for one T-share, you get roughly close to 3 cents at the current price right now. When you have 100 T-shares, that's close to $3. When you end up getting 100x from these prices, which puts us back somewhere in the ballpark of, I don't know, we'll say 40 cents or so, which isn't that far-fetched in all reality, especially if on your way to $1 or $2 and beyond. When you just get back up to 40x, you start making $300 a day. And so a lot of y'all may have not gotten to see what it was like getting paid that kind of money when Hex was first made, because several people are brand new to our ecosystem. And for those folks, welcome in. We absolutely love having you here as well. Let me see what else we got going on. A bit better now. Cool. Sounds great. I almost think that, let me just kind of read this over here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, exactly. The people who have 55 most likely won't be washed out. I mean, here's the deal, man. If HexScout really does a good job on a couple different things. One of the things that they do is they broke it down with a different frame of mind. Now, I know we have seen these frame of minds in the past, for example. The frame of mind I'm referring to is, instead of figuring out for a 15-year stake and saying it that way, like, to some people 15 years just sounds like a ridiculous amount of time. You say, how old are you when you're staking, and how old do you want to be when you're in your stake? And you hear that and you're like, okay, that's a little different. And then you say, okay, cool, I'm 30 now, for example, and you want to be 45. That's a 15-year stake. But when you're 45, you still have so much life ahead of you, or at least in your mind, you always have a whole lot of life ahead of you, right? And so life is short. Don't take it for granted. Live every day as you can. Live it to the fullest, for sure, because guys, we're not guaranteed tomorrow by any means, right? But at the same time, when you end up getting there to that situation, if you had been like any of the early people who were in any other cryptos that were around for a long time, that have been around, that have stuck around through the Lindy effect, well, when you have something that's going to be here for a while, and it's going to stick around for a while, and it's going to continue to be here going forward in the future, you want to try to have as much as you can during that time. It's the same people who talk about Apple shares. Dude, I shared that story of the person who is also on the co-founder of Apple as well, and how basically he ended up selling his portion of the shares within the company for, I think it was like $200 or something wild. And even back in 2018, he ended up that was so crazy, man. He ended up being, it was somewhere in the ballpark of like $81 million. And then he sold, at that same time, he ended up selling his little job offer certificate type deal that he had. And I think he ended up getting somewhere in the ballpark of like $100K for it, which was a good price. Don't get me wrong, definitely well earned, and well, you know, you've had it for that long. It's just a piece of paper to you, I guess, at that point. But then it went to auction, and it was like $2.1 million. And you just like look at this guy, and you're like, dude, that's so many missed opportunities of just not having the future sight available to you. And it's tough because you can never know when that's going to happen, right? You never know when that's going to happen. So yeah, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Let me just kind of read through the chat a little bit faster. Caught you live. Absolutely, you sure did. I genuinely want RH to pull off another 10,000x on Hex. Really think that's part of his grand plan. Maybe, could be potentially possible, for sure. The lower the low, the more X's can be claimed from it to all-time high, for sure. And if you, I mean, heck, dude, let me actually pull up. That's a great point as well. So let me actually kind of pull up a different one real fast. and go. Yeah, 1 second, y'all. Again, trying a different setup right now, so I'm just trying to make sure it all is good in the hood. All right, cool. And yeah, okay, cool. Let me actually just pull up, we'll just pull up Deck Screener. We'll just do that instead. So pull up Pulse Chain, and look at Pulse. All right, so measuring from all-time low at this point in time, always a good little fun thing to do for individuals. Now, I don't know which way we count all-time low. Y'all let me know. If I'm wrong on this, so be it, right? Because again, I'm just kind of curious as well. But we have the all-time lows sitting from this candle wick, which sits at 402766, which could potentially be all-time low at that point in time. Just measuring it out as well. Whoops. All right, so from all-time low all the way over here, boom. We are currently sitting 2.5x above that right now at this point in time, 2.3 above that at this point in time, so keep that in mind. Again, looking at the EMAs right now, the 9 EMA just crossed the 15 EMA yesterday, which, folks, again, to those of y'all who may not be aware of this, very bullish. Super bullish when that loves to happen. The 9 EMA crossing the 15 EMA is a fun little indicator that lets you see quite a bit of different items over here. So good to see that. It turns typically pretty bullish. Looking from the days again, we're sitting on 9 days or 8 days at this point in time. Previously, when we did this little run, I think we hit right around 10. So wanting to see where we end up getting around this point in time and where we end up going, letting it go for the 28 days as well. So that's from the all-time low of Pulse Chain at this point in time. What about PulseX? PulseX, all-time low. Let's take a little gander where we're sitting. And here we go. Boom. Now again, once again, all-time low, folks. We're just going to kind of measure from where the candle wick actually came down. So this is showing the all-time low to be at 507156. And again, that's where we're going to measure from at this point, because that's typically how it can go when you start measuring. Sitting once again 2.3, 2.4x above that. So if you had bought there, cool. But again, so many people didn't have a chance. So let's just go based on right here, right? Which currently you were sitting close to about 2x above if you had bought on this day, which was September 14th, the day before September 15th, which is when I started the Pulse Challenge, folks. So join me along on this Pulse Challenge once again. We have many things turning very bullish at this point in time. We're getting the 50 DEMA actually almost coming up and getting crossed by the 9 and 15 EMA as well. I am looking super freaking bullish of what's going on. Typically, when you end up getting this little breakout and the 9 does cross the 15 going up in this situation, usually we get a little bullish move. And in this case, it may even last. This one lasted for 24 days. I mean, before it actually fell back down out of it at this point in time, it lasted 32 days. And so far, again, we just crossed today. So let's see what can happen. But look at what's going on in the past, right? When you actually look at the 9 and 15 EMA, you do typically end up getting a little bit of bullish activity. This one was for, this one was for, 4 days. Cool. And then, we didn't really have any 915s cross back then because we were so new. We didn't actually have the prices back then at that point in time. So folks, this is kind of what we got going on, what we're seeing, what we have, and looking at the hex on Pulse Chain side. I don't think I've ever kind of tried to measure from the bottom. So let's just take a little gander, I guess, real fast. What's up, everybody? What's good, homies? Hope everyone's having a good day as well. I thought it was a bit crazy to lock hex for 1, 2, 3 years, even back in December of 2020. But the years are gone, and good thing I sacked for the hex for Pulse and PulseX at all-time high of 15 cents. So now it's like having 8-cent hex from that in Pulse. Yeah, dude, and a lot of people forget about that as well. What's going on, Warren? How you doing, my friend? Cookie de Chocolata saying what's up. J Everything, RTS. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man? What's going on, man? If you haven't joined his Patreon yet, you need to do it. Seriously, ATX is a genuine, compassionate, and super helpful guy. One of the best in Pulse Chain community. Thank you so much for the kind words on that bargain betting. Much appreciated as well. And let me actually go back over here. Oh, the hex chart. That's what we were doing. I got completely distracted, went back to the chat. So, again, guys, do you want to measure? Y'all let me know. Do you measure from the time this candlewick happened when no one could really participate because of, one, the reason of the bridge and everything like that? So are we counting this as the all-time low of this particular token for Hex on Ethereum? And if so, we are currently sitting about 3.5x from the all-time low if you were in during this purchase time zone period. But for the majority of individuals, I would rather go from here personally, and the reason why is because, again, we had to where people were able to actually get into the ecosystem and not held up through certain items. So from the all-time low at this point in time, we're still less than a 2x away from the all-time low, guys. That is absolutely wild. You understand? Like, that means there's so much opportunity. This, if you consider this to be the all-time low this token is ever going to see. You have to understand, when things take off, guys, and it goes, and it just flies up to the moon, and just green candles start printing, and we start going above and beyond 5x, 10x, 20x. When you start coming back to the bear price, to the bear market, when 2025 is over, the bear market comes around, things are starting to look bearish overall, Bitcoin starts dropping, all these things start happening, people start dumping. That's going to be a good opportunity of you wanting to take some profits, not waiting for the next 2x because you've already gotten a 50x. Don't get greedy, take some money, take some profit. Long story short, these prices that you see right now are never going to get seen again. You got to understand that, guys. Like, how absolutely crazy is it that these prices could potentially never be seen again going forward? What if even right now we don't go back to this all-time low? What if these prices are already gone and right now you're still less than a 2x away? The way I look at that, man, it's an opportunity for sure that I would love to make sure I'm going to be participating and taking advantage of. So, in fact, I am participating and taking advantage of as well. Give me 1 second while I check something out. And yeah, let me just read the chat once again. Say hello to some beautiful peoples. The prices have been stupid low for so long, one thing after another. Yeah, RGS for sure. I've been trying to my best to make some gains on meme coins to DCA on Pulse. I know, John Easton, a lot of people are doing that. You know what I mean? Like, what's crazy is a lot of people got caught up. I know several people that got absolutely decimated because the 9-inch protocol came out, and a lot of people thought they would swap their PulseX, Hex tokens for 9-inch or BBC to earn some yield, and then just the value gone, guys. Like, the value of that was just absolutely decimated. So in that regard, I'm just kind of like, I'm always so cautious. But again, that's my risk tolerance. You have to understand. That's what I was talking about earlier. My risk tolerance says that's too much. Okay, so like, that's too much for some people. They're like, I don't want to be in any of those coins. I think meme coins outperform everything anyways. And so like, but that's them. So for me, that's a play that I'm personally not willing to take. I am in some farms. I'm on SparkSwap. I have some farms there. I got liquid loans. I got a vault there. So yeah, I mean, just sharing that with y'all. But again, I stay in a very healthy collateralization ratio. I think everyone should. And guys, I think it's just not the time to be making the certain plays of, you know, quick draw from the hip type, shooting from the hip type plays. Like, put the 5 Ps in practice, man. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, right? Like, put the 5 Ps in practice to allow you, so that way you can not only plan ahead, but write it down. Say, this is my goal. And again, I got people whose goal is to get to 1 billion PulseX. I got people whose goal has been hit and met that have joined Patreon because they have actually put forth the effort to make it happen. They set forth a plan in place, and they didn't say, I'm gonna wait until, I'm just gonna wait because what if the price goes down lower? No, dude, they're taking action now. Now's the time to take action. These prices do not stick around. I get it. We've been around for 6 months at these levels. Sure, we're gonna be here. Okay, cool. I'm telling you, when things start taking off, guys, we've seen people already have FOMO when we saw Hex on Ethereum do a 4x in 12 days. People absolutely started losing their minds. My gosh, I got to start buying PulseX. I got to start doing all this because I don't want to miss it. Why are you putting yourself in that position, man? Stop doing that to yourself, okay? Let me check something out real fast. All right, cool. Love that. Appreciate the subscribe on that one. Here we go. And all right. Cool. So what's going on, guys? What's happening, man? Let's talk real quick. What do y'all want to talk about? What do y'all want to have some fun on? Yeah. Please hit the likes, of course. Always appreciate that. Much love to every single one of y'all who are here as well. I genuinely think RX wants to pull off another 10,000x. I 100% believe that. And okay, so here's a fun thought that I actually had the other day. So I was in Iraq in 2008 and 2009 and 2010. So, based on my time there, I was looking back and was like, holy shit, 2008 was already 15 years ago. That's it. That's as simple as my mind has to go. 2008 was fucking 15 years ago. Okay? Like, and I know, like, my daughter is almost 15. You know what I mean? Like, the kids are growing up so freaking fast. They're growing up so freaking quick. And you look at these little moments and you're like, I don't even like necessarily correlate those two at the same interval. Like, I look back in Iraq and I see that shit like still happening as of yesterday. Like, I could still be in. Like, I've thought about it to myself so many times. I could still be over there in Iraq if I just stayed in the Marine Corps, because I got in 2006. The plan was to get out in 20 years. So if you can retire when you do 20 years of active service. So I'd plan on retiring in 2026. So my goal in life had always been find a way to make it to where I can retire by the time 2026 rolls around. Luckily, I had stumbled upon Hex so much earlier and I was able to do very well. But you have to understand and again, like, even myself say the same thing. Like, could I have taken more profit? Sure. Do you look back at those moments and say, like, that was a bad idea, or could have done things differently? Sure. But there's no way of telling what's really going on. And I'll be real. I got a little greedy, you know? You always think there's another 2x. You have to understand, we were doing a 2x every single, like, 45 days, okay? So it was like, you put your paycheck in, 45 days later, 30 days later, you got double your paycheck. So whatever that was for you, you got double. And it just kept doing that. It was like double and a double and a double and a double. And it was absolutely fucking mind-blowing. Okay? And so I'm thankful that I got to find it, because my gosh, I didn't know what was going on. You know, I really didn't, right? I had this idea in my head, I guess, right? That why can't I scroll the chat right now? What the hell? I had this idea in my head. There it goes. I had this idea in my head that, again, that wasn't that difficult. That wasn't that crazy, right? And that shit, you can put in however much you can right now and double it in 20. Like, dude, you got it. Like, you want to talk about onboarding people? Shit, you are onboarding people with the dumbest thing ever. You want to double your money in 45 days? Like, whatever you would say, man. But again, I don't really do the whole, like, I'm going to go try to onboard new people. Onboarding new people is so fun, man. So fun. So, but what's funny is, I think Hexologist said this the other day, is we've entered a point in time where the people that you are going to promote and have some discussions with and, you know, share crypto with, you've probably already done that for the most part. You've shared who it is, what you want, you know, who knows what. Now, what's going to happen this next cycle is a lot of people have family members or someone in their family who is in crypto. And when bull cycles come, people that are in crypto that do well, people in the family start taking note of it. And they start participating and getting involved. So usually those are signs to be like, all right, cool, time to probably look to sell some, take some profits, right? That kind of stuff, because those are technically sell signals if you want to be real. But that's the next generation of people coming in. It's the people who are closely related to maybe someone who got in to crypto in the past and has done well. And I'm not talking like they're in Bitcoin and they're trying to say like it's the next gold and all this good stuff. And congrats to Bitcoin. I mean, shit, dude, let's just take a little gander there. I think that one hit 44,000 whenever I got a little notice this morning, I believe. So let me just actually pull this up again, because yeah, let's take a little gander and see what Bitcoin's doing, y'all. We got Bitcoin, we got Ethereum. Yeah, Bitcoin sitting at 43,887. Doing an absolute tear right now at this point in time. So, yeah, cool. It's still the same. So yeah, this is a Bitcoin chart right here. And again, Bitcoin sitting currently at 43,887. Now, okay, this isn't the full chart. I was like, that's not quite right. Let me just see if I can just type in BTC. None of this. All right, cool. Trading view it is. Trading view it is. All right, let's take a little look at the heat map. Might as well. What else we got going on, right? Take a little look at the heat map. Woo, damn. That looks like a fucking green board all day. Things are pumping in a bullish direction for all the tokens, y'all. So congrats to all these tokens. This is looking super bullish when you start looking at every single token in here is doing all these little green candles. I always love seeing Hex in the little mix as well. Nice little green candle pump for Hex. But yeah, guys, it's pumping. We got a nice little move going on in the overall market going on there. The dollar's doing its thing. So let me actually pull it up to where I can pull up the chart. Super chart. And take a little look at what's going on. So Bitcoin doing this thing, sitting, no, that's not quite right. That's the BLX. Because I was like, I thought I just saw it there. Cool. Boom, 44,000. Yep, 44,000. 0.32. Currently sitting, it's going to most likely come back and retest this 618 level, which that would be sitting at 39,126. So that would be my anticipation for Bitcoin if I was to be looking at things in the short term. Once again, bullish trajectory, what we got going on. We have a nice little engulfing candle right here. That is typically bullish when you actually see this candle wick. Oh, it's not quite. If this candle wick was slightly below it at this point in time, that would be fully engulfing, and that's very bullish. Kind of a similar situation that you see right here. Yeah, so just kind of checking all this out. It looks like we had a little doji engulfing here, went nice little bullish pattern right away. And guys, this is on a weekly. This is weekly right now, right? So I would say like weekly, we're probably going to end up coming back, retesting this 39,000 at some point to at least kind of refill this 618 gap, and then usually come back and retest the 786 level. Bitcoin doing its thing. Ethereum, let's take a little gander at Ethereum. Ethereum sitting at 22,228. Beautiful number there. If we actually pull up the fib retracing on this one as to what's kind of going on in recent times, we're currently under the 618 level. Let me make sure this is on log just real quick. Cool, it is. And yeah, so this is sitting at 22,228. So congrats to some Ethereum as well. Looking awfully bullish for Ethereum. And again, Ethereum is pumping along with pumping along with Bitcoin, right? Tied to liquidity and everything like that. Yeah, looking overall at the stock market, doing not a lot. Just green candles, guys. What is this? Going on 11 months, 49 days. Whoops, tripping. This is weekly. So 49 days of green candles for the stock market, S&P 500. Yep, NASDAQ doing its thing. Things are looking bullish, guys. We got the little announcement from Jerome Powell talking about he's not going to be raising rates, and we're still going to pause rates at this point in time. And look, if that is the case, congrats, man. That is what it is, right? Yeah, hit the like. Appreciate. Yo, audio. Cool. Oh, yeah, so the chat scrolled all the way up. Hold my beer, ATX. Xmas paycheck came in early. Lol. There you go. ATX and anyone else, can you break down the basic historical series of events when it comes to the cycle of crypto? I hear BTC leads the way and makes a run, then ETH, then alts, then memes, expectations. So, yeah, man, guess we can kind of talk about that for a second here. So, let me just kind of pull up a different chart. One moment, my friend. Well, let's just keep it simple. I don't want to get too crazy with it. We'll keep it simple. So we're gonna start with Bitcoin. Okay, we're gonna start with Bitcoin, then go on to Ethereum, and kind of like flipping around from there. Okay, so starting at Bitcoin, when we actually have it on Bitcoin right now, you have the years of the halving as 2012, 2016, 2020, and 2024. So if I was to draw a little vertical line over here, let me see if I can do that. Yep. So 2012, somewhere in here, 2016. And again, I'm just drawing these up super fast, guys. Forgive me for not like being exact on the dates, okay? I'm just making this up real quick. So this is basically what you're looking at for the chart, though. You have the first cycle where you end up going up. This is the first halving. Bitcoin halves, you get a nice little bullish move. In this situation, it actually ended up doing close to about a 300x during this time. And absolutely smashed prices, and then again went and dropped. Now, Ethereum didn't come out until over here, so I can't really consider what really happened the first time. We're going to go off the 2016 cycle. So 2016 is when Ethereum, 2015 is really when Ethereum got launched. 2016, they got to appreciate the Bitcoin halving as well. And from Bitcoin doing its halving, it actually went up, making a 52x in the span of, I don't know, close to 700 days. And we're just going to say up until December of 2017. So keep that in mind, December of 2017. Now, if we go with Ethereum and just kind of based on these exact same charts, I'm going to draw the first little line right here saying that was the first halving. The second little line right here, we'll just say the second halving, and then kind of what actually went on and is going on overall. Again, we can draw this next one. We'll just say the third halving, okay? So we actually got to see Ethereum go off from that halving and just do an absolute tear. Again, Ethereum did a 464x during this time period and absolutely smashed. Now again, remember, Bitcoin ended its little move cycle. Whoops, its move cycle right about the. Let me actually leave that chart on 1 second. Where's my rectangle? Date and price. There you go. I want this to stay on there so that way I don't have to keep drawing it. Cool. I'll just measure out the next one. Here we go, up to here. And I don't really, yeah, I guess we can do the last one. We'll do the last one. Cool. That one's a double top. So, all right, cool. That was a little double top, so a little bit unique situation. So this one actually went all the way, again, up until roughly about December of 2017. If you look at Ethereum from that point on, of December of 2017, they actually ended up being a little bit more bullish for a couple of extra months. I think it went on until January, yeah. So it was really just like an extra month, and then it really started kind of going off to the road at that point in time. This is when meme coins started kind of coming in. You started getting meme coins, altcoins, that kind of stuff was happening right here at the beginning of 2018. Then you actually had the bear market come, which we now got to see what went on and happen, and then all that good stuff. The Bitcoin halving was coming around / the pandemic. So this was kind of like a double hit at that point in time. But let's just look at the Bitcoin chart once again. Bitcoin chart went until roughly about November of 2021. Ethereum ended up going until the top was right there, November of 2021. So Ethereum, because of correlation now, I think is going to be a lot more inclined to probably move up and down alongside with Bitcoin. I think if you actually were to look at the correlations of these tokens right now. Oh, okay, cool. It's not going to pull that up. If we were to pull up the correlations of these tokens right now, let me see if I can find that. Correlation, BTC, ETH. See if we can find this real quick. Oh my gosh, 0.72. That damn near means it's a 72% move together, like up and down. So if one moves, the other is guaranteed to also go in that direction. More than 50% chance, basically, is what it's saying. So let me actually pull this up and see if it gives me a full-on indicator, because I like this, the way it used to be. Almost a freaking 100% correlation. No way. I don't know if that is like truly the case, but yeah, 3 months, but the 3 months between the correlation Bitcoin and Ethereum, dude, that's crazy. So essentially, what they're saying is identical at that point, guys. Like a 97%, 0.97% correlation. Like, anyways, so basically what that means is if we'll get the halving to end up coming this cycle, and it ends up moving, and we get a little pump happen, like say we go back above. And instead, you know, Ethereum's on its third cycle curse, right? We've heard that before, but instead of it doing off and doing something crazy, well, if it only ends up doing something like Bitcoin, doing like maybe a 4x, obviously a 4x there, Ethereum should in fact always do more than that as well. So maybe we'd be looking about a 10,000 Ethereum. That's a psychological level. 10,000 is a solid psychological level. I'm curious to see what would happen, man. I'm really curious to know. because that's only a 4x, and I really think it goes, or 5x. I think it's way above that we can end up making this happen. So curious to know what actually ends up going on. Curious to know your thoughts. But long story short, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to move pretty close together now. I think altcoins are going to move a little closer to Ethereum because things have gotten more correlated through liquidity and all this other stuff. And then what's going to happen is you get into the meme coin season where you get one last little hoorah typically of people kind of coming in. So if we end up cycling to where Bitcoin halving is 2024 in April, and I think it ends up being roughly right around, I want to say April 15th is the day that they're projecting this to actually end up happening. So, okay, yeah, this one doesn't pull up the exact chart of the 2024. BTC halving, yeah, this one's an old chart here. I'll go find a newer one. We'll check that out here in a little bit. But that's kind of what's going on. I think the BTC and Ethereum little wave of that they used to is kind of done. They're moving so closely together now. It doesn't really matter. I think they top together. I think they bottom together. That kind of stuff, right? That correlation really does matter. And then you end up getting into the altcoins, which typically should follow. Typically, it will last 6 months after. So if you look at Hex is one of those like key kind of examples where Hex actually didn't really top until about 6 months after Bitcoin had topped. And again, that kind of came along with the Pulse Chain sacrifice and other things kind of coming along with PulseX and other stuff. But that's kind of what's going on, guys. Let me know your thoughts on that. What else we got? What else we got, guys? What do y'all got going on, man? We're gonna throw on some music and future streams for sure. I'm just trying to figure out a new setup right now, so y'all let me know if you like the new setup as it is, and definitely will keep it going as well. So much love to every single one of y'all guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.